And I really hope that the narrative coming out of this movie, once the reviews are out, once people see it, I hope everyone puts some respect on Nia DaCosta's name.
Not like this. Not like this.
Hi everyone, I'm Dom Griffin. I'm a film critic and you're watching the Armchair Auteur. This is an ongoing video series I do where we talk about new movies, old movies, screenplay analysis, television series reviews, that sort of thing. So if you like movies, you like movie adjacent popular culture, and you like to see somebody pick those things apart, you're in the right place and you should consider subscribing. Today, I'm reviewing Candyman.
Just say Candyman.
Candyman, Candyman, Candyman.
No, he's never gonna come.
Candyman.
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 Candyman, the new Candyman movie, not the original. The new Candyman movie produced by Jordan Peele and directed by Nia DaCosta. You may be seeing it marketed as and spoken of like a new Jordan Peele movie, but while he is on board as a producer and does have a co-writing credit, and you can definitely feel a kinship between this film and his two directorial efforts, Get Out and Us, with their marriage of sharp comic timing and genuine scares tethered to social commentary centered around race, this is DaCosta's movie, and it represents a real level up moment for her. I liked Little Woods well enough and was happy for her getting this gig and Captain Marvel 2, but having seen this, I'm hella bummed out her next movie is with Marvel and not a new chance for her to flex with something original. Though it seemed like this could be a reboot, the new Candyman is a direct sequel to the original film, building upon its themes and lore in a meaningful and palatable manner. I won't get into spoilers in this review solely because I think some of the things they do with the mythology are really dope and should just be experienced as fresh as humanly possible. The film follows Yahya Abdul-Mateen as Anthony, an artist living in gentrified Cabrini Green, exploring the Candyman myth and the urban legends surrounding Helen Lyle's story from the original film. He and his girlfriend Brianna, played by Teyonah Parris, have different relationships to art and the trauma that often inspires it, but Anthony finds himself transformed and obsessed by his new work, which, while originally pegged as try-hard and blunt by his white critics, takes on new relevance when people start being murdered by the Candyman. So, right off the bat, one of the things I love about this movie is that this new Candyman movie is 91 minutes long. 91 minutes long. It is one of the most lean and sharp movies I've seen all year. I have sat through some real long movies this year, many of which did not need to be as long as they were, and Candyman, 91 minutes, I was stoked. And as I said, the movie obviously has to be marketed a little bit like a Jordan Peele thing because it's gonna help get more eyes on the product and because somehow Jordan Peele has just become synonymous with black horror as if other people don't work in the same space, whatever. And his presence is a good one. I'm glad his name is gonna help the movie probably get seen by more people. And obviously you can feel his fingerprints on the movie, but really DaCosta here is operating on a really high level for someone's sophomore directorial effort. There's so many cool things she does with the way she chooses to tell this story that really, really worked for me. There's a lot of scenes of her filming Chicago as a city from odd canted angles and in this weird sort of disorienting way that makes the city feel kind of otherworldly. There's these really cool animated sequences that use shadow puppets to show flashbacks of people telling stories relating to the Candyman myth from across the years. There is a ton of fun imagery relating to reflective surfaces and mirrors, relating to the whole saying Candyman 5 times in a mirror thing. They actually play around with that idea visually in a lot of really fun ways, in a lot of very exciting ways. Some ways you've seen in the trailer and some you haven't. When the movie opens, the Universal logo was reversed. It's in a mirror, which mostly just made me think about those memes where the text is in reverse and it's now you're the meme, which makes sense because there is something about the film that kind of wrangles with mimetic ideas. While the movie does talk about gentrification and a lot of the same things that the original Clive Barker story and the original film wrestled with, the movie really veers more specifically into the world of black art and what it means to make art as a black artist, what it means to have very often white audiences choose what is and is not interesting about your work, and also what it means to sort of commodify your pain, your past, your tragedies for consumption. And there's something about the way the movie frames the actual Candyman chant ritual thing it's like a viral thing that just gets away from the black community. There's one specific series of kills in the movie where you see some white students doing the Candyman thing in a public bathroom, and it really stuck with me how much it felt like a bunch of white people doing a TikTok dance that they don't have the rhythm for, and it biting them in the end, literally. And it really felt like a cool, fun way to modernize the actual Candyman specter, so to speak. This movie really skewers just the entirety of the art world in a way that Dan Gower's Velvet Buzzsaw kind of thought it was, but in a much sharper, much more relevant way. And there's just scene after scene of showing some of the hypocrisy and the way that these different worlds kind of intermix and the way that black artists are sort of talked down to and belittled by like white tastemakers. Without getting into too much detail, the fact that it sort of reframes the Candyman killings in a new direction might seem a little bit blunt for some people and a little bit obvious and a little bit cheap, maybe some people find it cheap, but I thought it was amazing. I think it was really the smart way to tell this story in 2021. I'm a huge fan of the original film, like don't get me wrong, I think it's a fantastic movie, but this one feels like it updates a lot of the ideas from that movie in a useful way. Not in a way where you're like, why are we doing this? Why are we making a new Candyman movie in 2021? And it does cover similar ground to some of Jordan Peele's films. It covers similar ground to some other things in like the modern pop cultural landscape, but it does feel like its own thing, and it feels really vital. And it's genuinely good. Like, it's actually scary. It has some strong like jump scares. It has a lot of cool moments of mystery and like just general discomfort. It's got a really fucked up and weird and sort of evocative score from Robert A. Lowe, whose music alongside the actual like sound editing and sound design for the movie create a lot of really cool like aural feelings throughout. Like there's moments where the music and the actual just like the sound effects and stuff like really work. And obviously that's very important for like I guess all horror movies, but they really knocked it out of the park here as far as I'm concerned. And the cast is great. Colman Domingo, who has been on a hot streak the last couple of years, continues to be great in his relatively small role. Yahya Abdul-Mateen is great in the lead, but I really feel like Teyonah Parris, who is good in everything she has ever done, really kind of steals the movie. I think that there's some really great work that her and Yahya kind of do together. Maybe these sort of like diverging interpretations of like how consuming the act of making black art can be for different people, and in a way that felt really raw and earnest and really stuck with me. Like, it's kind of hard to talk about without just like giving away the whole thing, but the way their respective arcs play out in the movie, to me, spoke to me very much. I was very into it, really dug it. Also, I don't know if I said this before, it's 91 minutes long. It's a 91-minute movie. It is easily an hour shorter than some other movies I've seen this year that thought they were doing a lot more, and it does it with much less. I've said a lot of very good things about the movie because I feel a lot of very good things about the movie, but I must say that the final act is a little bit much. It's a little bit much. It's a little bit blunt. It's a little bit kind of on the nose. I will say, like, I think for some people they might get to the end and kind of be like, really, this is the direction they want to take the Candyman franchise, but I loved it. It was exactly what I wanted from this movie. I didn't know that's what I wanted from this movie. I didn't realize this was going to go going in. I feel stupid for not catching on that that's where the direction was going to go in. But once it happened, I was like, yeah. But also, yeah, I can see that some people are probably going to bitch about this, but I super dug it. I was so into it. I'm just saying that as a warning that like you might not rock with it the way I did, but I rocked with it pretty hard. And the reason why I don't mind the bluntness and the reason why I don't mind how sort of on the nose some of it is that this is a movie that engages with like black pain and like, you know, like the things that happen to black bodies and all that stuff. And it doesn't linger on those things in the way that a lot of other works do. It is not a movie that just like brutalizes and cuts up and fucks up black people and then shows it to you like, isn't this fucked up? Isn't this terrible? What happens to us? It's not like that. The foundation of what makes the movie scary is very much so the horrible things that happen in the black community and have happened in the past and continue to happen to this day. Yes, but the movie itself isn't like, let me show you fucked up stuff that people have done to blacks over the years. It like talks about them and wrestles with them and it focuses on the impact of those tragedies on people, the generational trauma that it comes with. But most of the actual like grisly shit happens off camera, and a lot of the stuff that does happen on camera doesn't happen to black people, which is kind of nice for a change. And I don't know, it worked really well for me. Like I thought this movie was gonna be cool. I figured it'd be like good. I think Nia DaCosta is a very good director. I like Jordan Peele for the most part. I figured this would be like decent. I thought it might be a little bit like trying too hard to be relevant socially. But no, it actually just works. It rocks. It's like exactly what I would have wanted from a movie like this. It's a 90-minute horror movie in 2021 that features some really beautiful visuals, some really strong storytelling, a good score, a good cast, like a good pretty much everything. I feel like I'm having to rack my brain to think of more things to like complain about, but like I genuinely can't find any, which is nice, obviously, because most of the time I find a lot. But I think that the direction they choose to close this movie out with is a strong one. If this does well enough to get sequels, I'd like to see where they take it. I would be into that, and I think it just feels right. You know, sometimes I don't always have like the right language to like analyze something and explain like the exact bits of how it works or why it works or doesn't work. Sometimes it's just very much like just a vibe, and like the vibe new Candyman gives me is one that I co-sign wholeheartedly. I think if you have the opportunity to go see this, you should. I think it is something you should experience in a theater if you can. And I don't think you're going to regret it. I mean, it feels kind of weird that I'm seeing this movie in August and October. I'm someone who almost only watches tons of horror movies in October, so seeing it early feels strange. But I'm glad I saw it, and I kind of can't wait to see it again. And I really hope that the narrative coming out of this movie, once the reviews are out, once people see it, I hope everyone put some respect on Nia DaCosta's name, because I now want to see anything she does next. I will watch the Marvels. Obviously, I will watch her doing the MCU thing because I'm curious to see how that goes for her. But I really can't wait to see what she does next, in terms of not being under that umbrella, because she's a woman to watch out for right now. I think her first movie was pretty good, but this just feels like she just bumped it up, and we stand. Those are my feelings about Candyman. Very difficult movie to talk about without just giving the whole game away, but I really dug it. I think people should see it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, please subscribe. Hit the little bell icon to get notifications when I put out new videos, which will be very soon. And if you have any thoughts about the film, even though you may not have seen it yet, or just the original film, or just Candyman and Jordan Peele, you want to talk about anything at all, that's what the comment section below is for. I am happy to answer any questions or to respond to any queries. That's the same thing as answering questions. I'm happy to talk about anything at all. So I hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, being good to yourselves and each other. I will see you all in the next video.